Have you ever caught yourself thinking intensely about someone, your chest tightening, your heart racing, only to receive their message minutes later? Or maybe you were lost in thought about them, when suddenly a song with deep meaning for both of you started playing. These moments make you pause and wonder, is this really a coincidence, or could something deeper be at play? Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists of the 20th century, believed that coincidences of this kind are rarely random. He called them synchronicities, meaningful alignments between inner thoughts and outer events. According to Jung, our unconscious mind not only shapes our inner world but can also link us to others in mysterious ways. When two people share a strong emotional, spiritual, or even unfinished bond, their unconscious minds sometimes resonate like two instruments tuned to the same frequency. What you feel might echo in him. What he thinks may ripple into you without a word being spoken. In this video, we'll uncover 10 hidden signs that show you're both on each other's minds at the same moment. Guided by Jung's insights into the unconscious, synchronicity, and emotional connection. Some of these signs are subtle, others impossible to ignore, but together, they reveal the invisible thread between two souls who are silently connected. Sign number 1. Sudden waves of emotion that aren't your own picture. This. You're going about your day, maybe working, cooking, or scrolling on your phone, when out of nowhere a strong emotion hits you. It could be joy, sadness, longing, or even restlessness, and yet there's no obvious reason for it. Jung would say this may not always be your emotion. When two people are deeply connected, their unconscious minds can resonate across distance. This phenomenon is often described in energy psychology. Your emotional radar picks up on someone else's state. If he's thinking about you intensely, whether with love, regret, or yearning, you might suddenly feel it, almost as if the emotion has been transmitted across invisible space. Think about the last time you felt a heavy wave of sadness, only to later discover that he was going through something difficult at that exact moment, or when you suddenly felt light and uplifted just as he reached out with good news. These aren't accidents. They're signals of a hidden alignment, a moment when your emotional worlds overlap. For Jung, this isn't fantasy, it's the collective unconscious at work, a shared pool of meaning and feeling that connects us all, but becomes most noticeable when emotions between two people run deep. Sign number 2. Coincidences that echo your thoughts. You're thinking of him, and then suddenly his name appears on your phone, in a book, in a random conversation you overhear. Or perhaps you're reminiscing about a memory together, and then that exact song starts playing in the background. At first, you tell yourself it's just coincidence, but Jung would smile here and say, coincidences of this kind are never random. He introduced the concept of synchronicity, the alignment of internal thought with external events in a way that feels meaningful. It's as though the unconscious is speaking in symbols, arranging the world around you to reflect what you feel inside. When this happens repeatedly, his name, his voice, his favorite phrase, or a symbolic number appearing again and again, it's a powerful sign that the bond between you is alive beneath the surface, especially if these coincidences occur not just for you, but for him as well. Jung described synchronicity as a causal connecting principle. In simple terms, it's not about cause and effect, it's about meaning. The universe doesn't bring these reminders randomly. It brings them because there's an invisible thread between your inner life and his. So, the next time you see his name flash at the very moment you think of him, pause, ask yourself, is this the unconscious reminding me of a connection I cannot ignore? Sign number 3. Dreams that carry his presence. Dreams have always fascinated psychologists, but for Jung, they were the royal road to the unconscious. He believed dreams weren't random stories our minds invented at night. They were symbolic messages from the parts of ourselves we can't access while awake. And when two people share a powerful emotional connection, that connection often shows up in dreams. Have you ever dreamed of him? Only to wake with the feeling that it was more than imagination? Or maybe your dreams of him came during a period when you were almost ready to let go, pulling you back emotionally at the exact time he may have been wrestling with his own thoughts about you. Dreams like these can feel more real than reality itself. And here's why: the unconscious doesn't speak in plain words. It speaks in symbols, emotions, and archetypes. If he represents an unfinished story in your life, or if you embody part of his inner feminine archetype, what Jung called the anima, your image may appear in his dreams as well. There are even reports of what psychologists call mirror dreams, two people dreaming about each other at the same time, or experiencing dreams with parallel themes. While rare, Jung would say it's not impossible when two unconscious minds are resonating across distance. The key isn't to overanalyze every dream, but to focus on how it felt. Did the dream leave you with peace, longing, or clarity? Those emotions are the true language of the unconscious. If you wake up feeling his presence, chances are the dream was more than fantasy. Sig number 4. Feeling his energy without explanation. Have you ever felt someone's presence even when they weren't there? A sudden warmth, goosebumps, or even a heaviness in your chest that came out of nowhere? Jung believed that when we're emotionally bonded, our unconscious energy fields can synchronize, allowing us to sense each other's states without any physical contact. Imagine you're walking through your home and suddenly it feels like he's in the room with you, though he's not. Or you get a sudden urge to message him only to discover he was just thinking of you. These aren't random quirks of the mind, they're examples of emotional resonance. Some people call this energetic attunement. It's like two radios tuned to the same frequency. When he thinks of you intensely, his thoughts ripple outward. And if you're sensitive to that bond, you may feel it in your body before your mind can explain it. Sometimes it's emotional, waves of joy or sadness. Other times it's physical, like a flutter in your stomach, a sudden pressure, or tingling sensations. These reactions often happen in moments of heightened connection, when he's longing for you, struggling with feelings, or silently wishing you were near. Jung might not have used the modern language of energy psychology, but he understood the principle well. For him, this was the collective unconscious weaving invisible threads between souls. If you've ever felt him near without a reason, you're not imagining it. It's a sign you're both resonating at the same moment. Sign number 5. Recurring synchronicities that refuse to fade. Synchronicity doesn't usually appear just once. When the connection is real, it tends to repeat, as if the unconscious is insisting that you pay attention. Think about how often his name appears just when he's on your mind, or how certain songs, numbers, or symbols keep showing up when you're wrestling with your feelings about him. Maybe it's the number 1111 whenever you think of him. Maybe it's hearing his favorite band everywhere you go. Or perhaps people keep bringing up his name in unrelated conversations. For Jung, this isn't about superstition, it's about meaning. The unconscious doesn't speak directly, it speaks through patterns. When these patterns repeat, they form a symbolic message that you can't ignore. It's the psyche's way of nudging you toward recognition, and here's where it gets deeper. If he's experiencing similar synchronicities, seeing your name, hearing your song, stumbling across your favorite places, then the signs aren't just about you. They're about both of you. It means your unconscious minds are mirroring each other, pulling symbols into your shared reality. Jung would remind us that these recurring synchronicities don't guarantee romance or reconciliation, but they do prove one thing. The bond between you is alive, unresolved, and speaking through the symbolic language of life itself. Sign number 6. Intense eye contact that feels like a conversation. There are glances, and then there are glances that speak louder than words. Jung often said the eyes reveal the soul's truth before the conscious mind can catch up. And when two people share a bond, their eyes often betray it. Have you ever locked eyes with him and felt time slow down? The world fades, conversation stops mattering, and in that silent exchange, you feel everything: longing, recognition, fear, attraction. Eye contact like this doesn't happen with everyone. It's rare and it's powerful. Why? Because eye contact bypasses the filters of the mind. In that moment, it's unconscious speaking to unconscious. Your pupils dilate. His breathing shifts. Neither of you has to say a word, yet both of you know something real is being exchanged. Sometimes he may even avoid your eyes, not because he doesn't feel something, but because he feels it too much. Jung would say that the unconscious resists truths that the ego isn't ready to face. So when his eyes dart away after a moment of intensity, that's not rejection, it's evidence of struggle. If you've ever felt that his gaze carried a depth he couldn't put into words, then it's a sign you're both on each other's minds, even if silence is the only thing spoken. Number 7. Emotional shifts. You can't explain. Have you ever suddenly felt sadness, anxiety, or warmth, only to realize later that something significant was happening in his life? Jung believed emotions aren't isolated. They ripple outward, especially between people who share a connection. Think of it this way. Emotions are energy, and when you're bonded to someone, their emotional waves can wash over you, even from miles away. If he's thinking of you with longing or heartache, you may feel a strange heaviness in your own heart. If he's joyful, you might catch yourself smiling without reason. This isn't fantasy, it's emotional resonance. Similar to how tuning forks vibrate in response to one another. Your psyche resonates with his when thoughts of you flood his unconscious. For example, you may wake up restless on the very night he couldn't sleep thinking of you. Or you might feel a sudden burst of anxiety, only to discover later that he was going through a difficult moment. Jung would say that these experiences are signs that your unconscious minds are connected through what he called the collective field. It's not rational, but it's real. If your moods seem to mysteriously mirror his, then it's a powerful sign he's thinking of you in ways he himself may not fully understand. Sign number 8. Shared silences. That don't feel empty. Silence is usually awkward when there's no bond. But when two souls are deeply linked, silence becomes sacred. Jung often noted that intimacy isn't just about words. It's about the spaces in between them. Think about the last time you were with him and the room grew quiet. Did it feel uncomfortable, or did it feel strangely full, like the silence itself was speaking for you both? That's a sign of connection. It's the unconscious recognizing itself in the other, removing the need for filler conversation. Even from a distance, these shared silences can show up. Maybe you're on a call and both fall quiet, yet neither rushes to break it. Or perhaps you sit across from him, and though no words are spoken, the air feels electric, charged with unspoken meaning. What makes this powerful is that silence strips away performance. Without words, there's nowhere to hide. If the silence feels natural, if it feels like you're still with him even when nothing is said, that's not coincidence. It's connection. Jung would say these silences reflect the unconscious bond between two people. The ego wants conversation, but the soul wants recognition. And sometimes the deepest recognition comes when nothing at all is spoken. Sign number 7. You sense he will return. And he does. Have you ever had that strange, undeniable feeling that he's about to reach out? No message, no evidence, nothing tangible, just a sudden knowing. You go about your day, but something inside you insists he's coming back. Hours or days later, he does. At first glance, it feels like coincidence. But Jung would argue it is far more profound. Our unconscious mind is capable of picking up on subtle cues long before our rational mind can explain them. Think of it like emotional radar. When someone is thinking about you intensely with longing, regret, or unresolved desire, that energy doesn't simply vanish into thin air. It ripples outward. And if you share a deep connection, you may sense those ripples as intuition. You wake up one morning with a strange certainty. He will text today. And then, almost as if fate heard your thought, your phone lights up with his name. You laugh, call it coincidence, but deep inside you know better. This isn't magic or fortune-telling. It's resonance. Your unconscious is tuned to his, picking up the faint signals of his intention before they manifest in the physical world. Jung called this the language of the unconscious, where thoughts and emotions travel in symbols, sensations and patterns rather than direct words. Sometimes this knowing is subtle. You feel restless without explanation, only to discover later that he was thinking about you intensely. Other times it's direct, a strong conviction that he's about to re-enter your life. And then he does, often when you least expect it. This phenomenon is not limited to lovers. Deeply bonded friends and family members often experience it too, sensing when a loved one is about to call, or feeling pulled towards someone right before an encounter. But in the realm of love, it carries an especially powerful weight. Because when you can sense his return before it happens, it's a sign that your bond is not just emotional, it's energetic. So ask yourself, how many times have you just known he would come back? How many times has your intuition been right? If it happens often, it's not random chance. It's the quiet proof that his thoughts of you are so strong. They echo in your own soul before he even speaks. Sig number 10. His emotional presence still shapes you. Perhaps the most undeniable sign of all is this. His presence continues to shape your inner world. Even when he's not physically there, think about how he lives in your emotions. Does the thought of him calm you, inspire you, bring you joy? Or does it stir longing, unease, or even pain? Either way, the key is that his presence is not neutral. He still moves something deep within you. Jung taught that when two souls are deeply connected, they leave imprints on one another's unconscious. These imprints are not easily erased by time, distance, or silence. They remain, shaping dreams, moods, and even the choices we make. Imagine this. You're in the middle of an ordinary day, and suddenly his memory floods your mind. Your heart races, or perhaps it softens, filling you with a warmth that feels like protection. The moment passes, but the impact lingers. This is not simply nostalgia. It is evidence of a bond that still vibrates inside you. The truth is, if his presence continues to shift your emotional state so powerfully, then yours likely shifts his as well. He may not admit it, but deep down, your image lives in him. The unconscious does not forget easily when the connection is real. Here's where it gets even more profound. Sometimes these emotional echoes happen simultaneously. You feel him at the exact moment he feels you. You think of him deeply, and later he reveals, "I was just thinking of you." This is not coincidence. It's what Jung described as psychic unity, the ability of two unconscious minds to resonate across distance, time, and silence. This doesn't always mean you are destined for a romantic future. Jung himself warned that soul bonds are not always meant to become relationships. Sometimes they exist to teach, to awaken, or to guide us toward growth. But their reality cannot be denied. If his emotional presence still shapes you, if he still influences your moods and thoughts without even being there, it means he is thinking of you. Because, in the silent dialogue of the unconscious, energy flows both ways. When you sense his return before it happens, and when his presence still shapes your inner world, you can be certain he is thinking of you. These final signs are the quiet proof of an energetic dialogue happening beneath the surface, one that neither distance nor silence can erase. Jung would remind us that these connections are real, but their meaning is for us to discover. Perhaps they are invitations to love, or perhaps they are lessons in growth. Either way, they reveal the beautiful truth. In the hidden depths of the unconscious, you and he are still connected. If these signs resonated with you, it means your soul already knows the truth. Connections this deep are never accidental. Jung called it synchronicity, but you've felt it as real as your own heartbeat. Don't ignore it. Share your story in the comments, connect with others who feel the same, and subscribe for more insights into hidden emotions, synchronicity, and love's unconscious power. Your awareness is your strength. Stay connected.